Okay, and here we keep going on the left angle cross of informing 6-2 profile. Let's get to the 6-2 because the 6-2 really gives you another message. The 6-2's way of getting to a philosophical construct is that it says that there's no point so much to simply accept is that you work from the level of all it's pointless. It's futile. And it's futile, then you can get let go. Because there's not even a tiny, tiny little place where you can see you can do something. The same things, they can do something. Remember, there's a funny thing that happens between the 5-1 and the 6-2. It's called the 5-2. The flow between the two is very different at times, surprisingly different. They're both left angle on the same cross, after all. Okay, what is futility? A difficulty position and when there's no exaltation. Now you notice the difference between here. That is so beautiful. The fifth line has only one exaltation. The sixth line has only a detriment. They are not going to see that any place else. The sun in detriment. Here you have a single aspect where the strength and will alone may find a way to adapt and survive. Now think about this in the context of relationship, where the will alone can find a way to adapt and survive, but without hope of ever overcoming the oppression. Life as an ordeal stripped of realization. Now please focus that this is just a partnership for a moment. Partnership, trial, that can never get to the point of realization, fulfillment. You can never ever get rid of the oppression of flying in space with something else. To become the whole that is greater than the sum of its part in one way or the other is to meet repression. Oppression, one of these things, because it is the very nature that the abstract has discovered in the process of what it means to be forced to bond. And yet at the same time, there is this role model line. Here you see the birth of the six line hypocrisy. Me the six line, me the hypocrite. It doesn't matter what they look. Me the six line and me the hypocrisy. And it begins there. Now remember that hypocrisy is all that is terms that have a kind of negative commotion. There are some things that is better to do than to do it as yourself. Do as I say, not as I do. If you have no legs, there's no sense telling somebody to go running for exercise and then being called a hypocrite because you don't run. There are situations when you can say to somebody, do as I say, not as I do, and it's not hypocrisy. However, hypocrisy is something as it there is, and it was to be born in the line. It's a wonderful line. It says, okay, it's all futile. I'm not going to overcome the oppression. However, I realize that I may be stuck with you until I die. So basically, I'm going to tell everybody that it's okay. I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to do anything. I'm basically going to be a fool on the hill. I'm going to become as aloof as I possible can for my partner. I will do everything that I can to simply be able to survive. However, if anybody asks me if it's a good thing to have a partner, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to lie. And I'm going to lie because I'm going to assume that there's always a possibility that maybe it will work for them. Who knows? The 6-2 configuration on this cross. Think about the 47. A restrictive and adverse state as a result of internal weakness and external strengths at both. How does the 47 see relationships? They see it as an internal weakness or external strength or both. So they get to the end and you get to the sixth line and it says, these things are unavoidable. And if you just allow myself to get lost in this oppression, like my third line theme showed me in the first part of my life, this is going to be lousy. It's going to be a horrible life. I don't want to be oppressed. I don't want to see my relationship with the other as oppression. I'm looking for the ideal. I'm looking for the one night stand. I'm looking for my soulmate, all the six line themes. So in the end, what they do is that basically they speak about relationship in hypocritical terms. They'll tell somebody else what they think about somebody else needs to hear, but it's nothing to do with them. It really think that one of the things that you should do in your partnership is that you should spend a lot of time with your partner going out and doing things. And the person telling you that every time they go out with their partner, they have fights, they have problems, they have all kinds of things. What the hell are they telling you to do that for? It's not what they do. It's not what successful is for them. But basically, what they're saying is that you don't think about the oppression, think about situation, get involved in the real world, go out there and do something. Maybe that will solve. Maybe they will get rid of it, or whatever the case may be. It's all futile anyway. Horrible line. I got it. It's the worst line in the book. Then we go to the sixth tree. The sixth tree in this position is at its very best. Imagine being a sixth tree with a line of futility. It's like, I knew it, I got it, and here it is. And of course, again, there's a certain stability in that. Where, in fact, are we going? Think about where fertility leads to. Fertility leads to conflict, into the tribe, into the sixth gate, into the heart of the emotional motor. It's as if the 47 is saying, okay, I know something. What I know is that this whole partnership thing doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And if you have to see that the abstract mind can never be separated from the emotional system, and basically what you have here is a transference from the mental feeling, which is not a feeling, but a mental feeling that is all there, is oppression. And that the heretic says to you, turn the other cheek. The role model says that you don't just bullshit your way through it. Why don't we just turn over to the emotions? Okay? So, good luck with that. Now, then we go to the gate of conflict, sixth gate. Ooh, not my favorite. All difficult gates today.